It so happened. Supplementary Reader in English for Class 8.
Page 1.
Chapter 1. How the Camel Got His Hump. Part 1. The world had just begun, and the animals were working for humans. There was a lazy animal that did nothing and said nothing but hump. Even the clever Dizen was at his wits' end. Now the text. In the beginning, when the world was new and the animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel, and he lived in the middle of a howling desert because he did not want to work. He ate sticks and thorns and prickles. And when anybody spoke to him, he said, "Hump." Just hump, and no more. Presently, the horse came to him on Monday morning with a saddle on his back and said, "Camel, O camel, come out and trot like the rest of us." "Hump," said the camel. And the horse went away and told the man. Presently, the dog came to him with a stick in his mouth and said, "Camel, O camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us."
Now, word meaning. Dizen, pronounced gin and variously spelt as G-E-N-I-E, G-E-N-I-I, J-I-N-N-E-E, D-J-I-N-N-I, D-J-I-N-N-Y, which means a spirit that has strange powers and can assume any form, human or animal. Page 2.
"Hump," said the camel. And the dog went away and told the man. Presently, the ox came to him with the yoke on his neck and said, "Camel, O camel, come and plow like the rest of us." "Hump," said the camel, and the ox went away and told the man. At the end of the day, man called the horse and the dog and the ox together and said, "Three, O three, I am very sorry for you, but the hump thing in the desert can't work, or he would have been here by now, so I am going to leave him alone, and you must work double time to make up for it." That made the three very angry, and they held a panchayat on the edge of the desert. And the camel came chewing cud and laughed at him. Then he said, "Hump," and went away again. Presently there came along the Dizen, who was in charge of all desert, rolling in a cloud of dust.
Page 3.
"Dizen of all deserts," said the horse, "is it right for anyone to be idle?" "Certainly not," said the Dizen. "Well," said the horse, "there is a thing in the middle of your desert with a long neck and long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke of work since Monday morning. He won't trot?" "Whew," said the Dizen, whistling. "That's my camel. What does he say about it?" "He says, 'Hump.'" "And he won't plow," said the ox. "Very good," said the Dizen. "I will hump him if you will kindly wait a minute." Comprehension check. 1. What tasks do you think were assigned to the dog and the ox? 2. Why did the camel live in the middle of the desert? 3. What made the dog, the horse and the ox very angry? 4. How did the Dizen knew the horse was complaining against the camel?
Now the word meaning. I'll hump him, which means I'll deal with him appropriately. or I'll set him right. Page 4.
Part 2. The Dizzen remonstrated with the camel, who said, "Humph!" The camel's beautiful back suddenly grew a lump, which was the camel's hump. The Dizzen assured the camel his hump would always be a help, not a hindrance. The Dizzen rolled himself up in the dust cloak and took a walk across the desert and found the camel looking at his own reflections in the pool of water. "My friend," said the Dizzen, "what's this? I hear of you doing no work." The Dizzen sat down with his chin in his hand while the camel looked his own reflection in the pool of water. "You have given the 3 extra work ever since Monday morning, all on account of your idleness," said the Dizzen. And he went on thinking with his chin in his hand.
Now the word meaning. Remonstrated. That means protested or complained. Page 5.
"Humph," said the camel. "I shouldn't say that again if I were you," said the Dizzen. "You might say it once too often. I want you to work." And the camel said "Humph" again, but no sooner had he said it than he saw his back, that he was so proud of, puffing up into a great big hump. "Do you see that?" said the Dizzen. "That's your very own hump that you have brought upon your very own self by not working. Today is Thursday and you have done no work since Monday, when the work began. Now you are going to work." "How can I," said the camel, "with this hump on my back?" "That has a purpose," said the Dizzen. "All because you missed those 3 days, you will be able to work now for 3 days without eating, because you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say, 'I never did anything for you.' Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave." And the camel went away to join the tree. And from that day to this, the camel always wears a hump. We call it hump now, not to hurt his feelings. But he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, and he has never yet learned how to behave. By Rudyard Kipling, abridged. Comprehension check. 1. The camel was looking at his own reflection in the pool. What does it suggest to you about the camel? 2. The camel said, "Humph," repeatedly. How did it affect him? 3. What, according to Dizzen, was the use of the hump? 4. He has never yet learned to behave. In the light of this, what is the writer's opinion about the camel?
Page 6.
Exercise. Discuss the following topics in groups. 1. Can this story be factually true? 2. What, according to you, is the story about? Consider the following. 1. How the world began. 2. Why everyone should do his or her share of work seriously. 3. How animals are important to humans. 4. How the camel got his hump. 3. What did you do over the weekend? Were you generally active or idle? Please check your back before starting to discuss or answer the question. 4. There are broadly 2 categories of workers. Those who prefer to do today what they can do tomorrow, and those who prefer to do tomorrow what they can do today. Where do you belong? Think it over. All work is dignified. There is no such thing as menial work. He who struggles is better than he who never attempts. all work and no play. Is it a good idea? William Faulkner, American novelist and poet, didn't think so. In his words, one of the saddest things is that the only thing that a man can do for 8 hours a day after day, is work. You can't eat 8 hours a day. All you can do for 8 hours is work. Which is the reason why man makes himself and everybody else so miserable and unhappy.
It so happened. You were just listening to this audiobook. Production assistants Meenakshi Kukreti. Recorded by Batilang Lingdo. Technical assistants Vikas Sangwan. Produced by Ajit Horo. And presented by CIET NCERT New Delhi, India.